Moves this cool deserve to be the ones that win folks world titles and produce the biggest pop of the night on the grandest stage of them all. Instead, they've each just become a signature tool that will never get their moment in the spotlight. What a shame. So with that in mind, I am Gareth, this is What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 times wrestlers totally wasted awesome moves. Number 10, the Pop Up European Uppercut, Claudio Castagnoli. The Blackpool Combat Club's big man is generally recognized as the pound-for-pound strongest human in the wrestling business. And things like Claudio Castagnoli's outrageous swing, neutralizer, and recola bomb all show off the Titanic horse's freakish strength whenever he decides to well and truly finish one of his unfortunate foes. However, there's a version of one of the former WWE Superhuman's other signature weapons that also demonstrates that insane power, and could easily be added to his already stacked list of finishing weapons. Taking his already brutal European uppercut up a few ridiculous notches, watching Castagnoli hurl one of his smaller opponents high up into the air, before greeting them on the way down with one of said diabolical shots to the neck/jaw/mug, is always a highlight. But the fact this awesome maneuver rarely results in anything more than a near fall, or the sound of thousands gasping before he moves on to his next outgunned rival in the middle of multi-person warfare, will never not be hugely disappointing. The BCC's monster has admittedly scored the odd uppercut victory in recent times, most notably putting down Eddie Kingston in an all-out 2023 tag bout, but permanently adding this sudden and mesmerizing KO out of nowhere finisher to his game would only make Claudio even more of a frightening entity. While on the subject of strong boys, I've got a quick question for you. What is the most impressive feat of strength in wrestling history? Was it a Claudio moment or something else? You let me know in the comment section down below. Number 9. SOS Kofi Kingston. With a little help from his trusty Trouble in Paradise spinning kick to the face, Kofi Kingston has managed to create quite the legacy within the world of sports entertainment. One thing the former WWE champion still hasn't been able to do throughout his routinely hilarious and uplifting time as a top WWE star, however, is upgrade his stupidly brilliant SOS weapon to the level of savage match ender. Seriously, how can anyone take a look at Kingston's flipping/rolling leg sweep slam and not instantly see the potential the incredible move has to become as iconic a finishing attack as the aforementioned flowing foot-to-jaw sequence? It's definitely not a case of the move being too complicated or demanding to pull off on the bigger performers on the roster either, with Kingston nailing the likes of Sheamus and Ridge Holland with the SOS on WWE programming. The fact that simply oh snapalicious has been a part of the Kofi toolkit for years at this point, and has never honestly been protected enough to be accepted as an awesome new Kingston finisher though, likely means this one will forever remain just a cool signature that will secure more pops than wins for the New Day legend. Number 8, the Blue Thunder Bomb, Konosuke Takeshita. Is there a more impressive move out there that regularly doesn't lead to the end of a contest than the majestic Blue Thunder Bomb? And joining the likes of Sami Zayn as a performer who doesn't exactly boast a long list of victories scored after nailing someone with the beautiful spinning powerbomb is another all-elite powerhouse known as Konosuke Takeshita. While Zayn's version of the devastating signature has at least picked up the odd W here and there, Takeshita hardly ever has his arm raised after unleashing arguably the best executed piece of Blue Thunder in the game. The way the terrifying Don Callis family member mercifully generates frightening speed through his rotation before absolutely crushing his opponent into the mat with a horrifying thud is art. But it's art that typically earns him a jaw-dropping 2.9999 at best. Even his deadly top rope Blue Thunder Storm to Kenny Omega at All Out 2023 wasn't enough to secure victory on the night. A few dreadful Zahi knees to the skull brought home the win in the end, of course, but most would have accepted the most barbaric spinning powerbomb in the business as the finish in that bout, and any other Takeshita contest. Number 7, the spinning back elbow, Andrade El Idolo. After spending the first few years of his AEW career doing very little of note, outside of clashing with Spanish gods behind the scenes, Andrade El Idolo finally appears to be getting into his stride in between the ropes again on Collision. One thing has become painfully clear during those hard-hitting displays against the likes of Bryan Danielson, Buddy Matthews, and Jay White though. This fiery Mexican star is currently using the wrong move as his violent conclusion. Currently, El Idolo is fond of either locking his rivals in the family weapon known as the figure 8, or smashing their heads down to earth with a hammerlock DDT when looking to wrap up a contest. But neither of those attacks hold a candle to the visual of Andrade suddenly catching his opponent with a wicked spinning back elbow out of the blue. Hell, most would openly admit that El Idolo's version of the swift bone to the head looks even more barbaric than Chris Jericho's own Judas effect, making the fact Andrade still doesn't opt to end his matches with it seem even more bizarre. From the way he sets up the cruel burst of violence with a big boot feint, to the disgusting sound that usually follows. This is a nasty move that nobody should be kicking out of. Number 6. Kreutz Wrath, Kenny Omega. The one-of-a-kind best bout machine Kenny Omega isn't exactly short on extraordinary options when looking to break a fellow wrestler in two, but you can never have too many ways to bring a match to a shockingly ferocious end. And if the cleaner feels like adding another terrific finisher to his already impressive offense, then few would argue with him beginning to put away more opponents with his criminally wasted Kreutz Wrath. Said stupendous move involves Kenny starting from a position with his adversary sat on his shoulders, only for Omega to then pop them up, catch the unlucky soul, and then slam them neck first into the mat via horrendous German suplex. And with this attack often coming in response to a rival blocking Kenny's ever-reliable one-winged angel, what better way to catch those stubborn a-holes off guard than with a response that's also powerful enough to render them motionless for those vital 3 seconds. Omega did once rely on Kreutz Wrath as a destructive match ender over a decade ago, but it's since become a frustratingly wasted signature piece of offense used only to wear down his various rivals. Number 5. The House Call, Swerve Strickland. When it comes to the names currently present on the All Elite roster, they don't come much nastier or more vicious than Swerve Strickland. And though both his trusty JML driver and Swerve Stomp both definitely reflect just how callous the Mogul Embassy star can be, arguably his most despicable weapon doesn't get the respect and attention it certainly deserves. Used more to set up either of those aforementioned finishers nowadays than it is to dramatically kill any hopes of getting the better of Swerve, the graceful but cruel house call running kick to the head is arguably the industry's most violent-looking kick at this precise moment in time. But even with that being the case, the awesome move is still rarely enough to keep just about anyone down for the count, with the likes of a young Nick Wayne even being able to survive the soul of Swerve's boot. Again, it's not like Strickland is lacking in the impactful finisher department, but re-establishing the often wasted house call as something to truly be feared would add another chilling layer to Swerve's increasingly unstoppable offense in between the ropes. Number 4. The Deep Six, Baron Corbin. Despite largely being presented as one of the least interesting and easily conquered superstars in all of sports entertainment, for much of his 10+ year spell with WWE, Baron Corbin does still boast two of the coolest weapons out there. But while the eternally awesome End of Days continues to be one of the most protected and gorgeous finishers you'll find on WWE programming, the same sadly cannot be said for Corbin's magnificent spinning back suplex. There's just something so hypnotizing about witnessing Big Bad Corbin catch a slightly smaller foe mid-sprint before proceeding to whip them around the ring like they're trapped in the middle of a tornado. That you can also whip the Deep Six out in seemingly every scenario imaginable surely makes this one a clear choice for a Corbin alternative finisher too. But at time of recording, the now NXT worker still depends solely on ending days for the win, generally using the Deep Six as just a signature and completely wasting a majestic attack few could likely pull off as effortlessly as the Baron. Number 3. The Falcon Arrow Combination, Seth Rollins. Now sure, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion may have unexpectedly used the move along with a few tables to keep Shinsuke Nakamura down for the 10 count in their recent Fastlane war, but outside of that, can you honestly remember another time when Seth Rollins' Falcon Arrow combination earned him a high-profile victory? And that's a damn shame too, because that remarkable sequence is truly one of the most impressive series of moves any top WWE star currently has in their sparkly back pocket. Jumping back a few years when Rollins first started rapidly dashing to the top rope, superplexing the dude perched up high, and then sealing their fate with a devastating Falcon Arrow, fans would have no doubt quickly accepted this awe-inspiring combo as one of the Architect's newest match enders there and then. However, with this one soon being established as little more than an extravagant signature capable of taking the breath away from thousands packed inside of stadiums, but not earning the all-important W, this superb Falcon Arrow combination ended up becoming yet another fantastic but routinely wasted move. Number 2. The Swanton Bomb, Wardlow. Gigantic human beings taking to the top rope to finish off their puny opponents is becoming increasingly more common within this ridiculous business. But while watching the likes of the massive Ivar deliver a moonsault and the titanic Bronson Reed drop a tsunami for the victory is now a regular occurrence, there's actually another big man out there who possesses an even more outrageous, but sadly nowhere near as protected, top rope special. During his first few years as part of the All Elite roster, the mighty Wardlow has often completely broken his enemies with a symphony of epic powerbombs. That will always be an astounding sight, of course, but so is the visual of Mr. Mayhem soaring through the air and executing a better swanton bomb than Jeff Hardy. That's not to say the hulking MJF Hunter should be resorting to that sort of insane move each and every time he takes to the ring. However, as an all-or-nothing last resort when his opponent simply refuses to stay down, why not have the monstrous unit crush his rivals with the hardest swanton in the biz? And number 1, the hip attack Toni Storm. Before this year's Full Gear pay-per-view, the timeless performer known as Toni Storm typically turned to her tried and tested Storm Zero to earn herself many a W and AEW Women's World Championship victory. But the rejuvenated wrestling starlet appeared to finally realize just how damn horrifying one of her other weapons was during her latest battle with Hikaru Shida. Since making her presence felt in AEW in particular, Storm's disturbing hip attack in the corner has left both fans and pundits shuddering week after week. Arguably the most distressing part of witnessing someone's head snap back in between the turnbuckles, though, is the fact this move doesn't typically end a fight. Instead, it's largely wasted as a setup to the aforementioned Storm Zero, with the only notable exception of the move sealing a victory requiring a silver plate over the arse assist at that noted latest Full Gear event. Surely Tony's full-speed hip to the skull is already horrendous enough to completely wipe out an adversary without the added armor, right? So here's hoping she opts to stick with forcing a referee to call cut after unleashing hip hell post close-up going forward, eh? It's too badass a move to waste, I say. And that's our list. Know of any other times that wrestlers totally wasted awesome moves? Well, let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you're into this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right this second is based on. I've been the always wasted Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!